Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to make the urban leggings by Ellie and Mac. I've made them before and I had this pattern here, but it was a little bit big on me, like around the waistband and around the legs, so I went down a size. So I've reprinted it so that I can show you how to put the pattern together. First off, let me show you how to choose your size. Let me see if I can get this over here where you can see. Okay, so this is the urban legging pattern by Ellie and Mac. So what you're going to do is you're going to come down here to this chart right here, and you're going to find out what your bust size is, your waist size is, and your hip size. So you would put a tape measure around you, see what your size is, and see what size you fit in. I fit in the extra large size here, so that's the size I printed. Then you're going to come over here to this button right here, the bottom button. That's the layers on your PDF. So if you click on it, it has all the sizes right here. I love the way she does her patterns because she does each pattern in layers. So then you just unclick the one. Hold on, let me get down here so you can see it going away. So see here the colors here, and as I unclick them, they go away of the size that you don't need. So the only thing that's left is the size that you need, which mine is green. So the only color that's left is the green on all the pattern pieces. And then you just glue them together. I'm going to use this school glue. This just regular school glue here, and glue my pieces together. And then I'll probably put you in fast forward to do that because it takes a minute. But I will get back with you. What I'm doing is I'm going to line up this blue line at the bottom. That's kind of like a registration for you to line up. It's on the bottom of each one of them. And then line it up on the blue line going all the way up. Just like that. Okay? And then we'll go down to the next one. And do the same thing. Lined up on the blue line down here, and on the blue line all the way up. I think it's a different color line if you use the A4 paper, but this is just regular 8.5 by 11 paper. I'm just going to go all the way up like this, so you can see how this line continues on. And then I'm going to come down here and put this piece. And what you're going to do is kind of the opposite of what you did do. So I'm going to put the glue here, and I'm going to line up on that line and make sure this blue line lines up with my crease. So just like, oops, just like that. One thing I also like about this school glue is if you get it on your mat, which is kind of hard not to, you can just take a wipey and wipe that right off. You just keep going in number order. See, they have these big pink numbers on them. You just keep going in, and it has a layout diagram on the website of where the pieces go. You just line them up like that and keep right on going. pattern says. The pattern says we need to cut 2 pieces and they need to be mirrored. It says mirrored on there. So we're going to put our fabric when we cut it wrong sides together or either right sides together. And it says you need to cut 2 of them. This box right here, you can see is the placement for your pocket. If you're going to put the pocket, I might cut a pocket, might do 2 pockets. And then here it says the lengthen and shorten line. Alright, so here it says this is the line you cut on if you want to cut shorts. Sorry, I had a phone call. So this is the line if you want to cut shorts. This is the line if you need to shorten or lengthen it for your thigh length. So you would take a measure from your inner crotch down to the bend of your knee and measure this and see from the short line to here. And if you need to lengthen it or shorten it, you would cut this line, and however many inches you need to add, you would add it here at this line. Here is the line right here for capri length. If you want capri length, you would cut on this length. If you want crop length, you would cut on this line. If you want regular full length, this is the line you would cut. This one is long full length on this line, and the very bottom one says tall. So the last pattern that I did was a little short on me, and I cut it on the regular length. So I'm going to do the long length on this one. So what I'm going to do is just take my pattern, fold it over, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it on that line right there. Okay, so that's where I'm going to cut the bottom. I have already measured, and I know from here to here is the correct length for me. If you look here, it has kind of like some measurements on there. On your pattern, it has the waist length, so around your waist, your hips, your thighs, and your calves. So that's the sizes that, like when you put the pieces together, that it will end up being. Right there on that little chart that's right here. I'm gonna do the high waistband because I got a lot to tuck in. Kind of got a roll there to tuck in, so I'm gonna do the high waistband, which is this one. And on this one, it says you need to cut 1, and we need to cut it on the fold. This other one is for the narrow waistband, and it also says cut 1 and cut on the fold. I'm going to put this one in my thing, my envelope, because I'm not doing the narrow one. So I'll put that in there. I'm going to do the pockets, I'm going to do the high waistband, and cut mine at this length. So that's what I'm going to do. So we got to cut 2 of these mirrored. So let's get our fabric over here. I got some really adorable fabric that I'm going to use. This is double brush poly. Love double brush poly. It is so soft and got a really tons and tons and tons of stretch to it. Okay, so it'd be really, really good for leggings. I'm gonna put my selvages together so that way when I lay it out on the pattern, it tells you right here, max stretch needs to be going this way when you lay it out. So I'm going to take the edge of my fabric and see which one has the most stretch, and I have it laying that way. So that's selvage to selvage. Okay, lay that out right there, and I have my pieces wrong sides together. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure nothing's pulling. I think I'm going to scoot this up a little bit so I don't waste any fabric. Put this over here close to the selvage. There we go. And I have the Mac stretch line with the Mac stretch. This is how I'm going to cut my 2 leg pieces. Just like this, making sure I'm going to be on the board on everything. Before I go any further, the pocket pieces, cut 1 for 1 pocket, cut 2 for 2 pockets, and the sets are mirrored. So while I have this right here, I got a piece big enough right here that I can cut the pockets out. So before I drop that, I'm going to cut these pockets out right here. There we go. So I have 2 of them cut. Cut 1 for 1 pocket and 2 for 2 pockets, okay? So there's 2 for 2 pockets. This is all I need for this. Cut 2 mirror, okay? I'm gonna stick this in my bag. Now we got the waistband to do. And it says cut 1 on the fold, all right? Now we're going to cut the waistband. And again, I'm using the high waistband. Okay. I have the fold of my fabric right here. So I'm going to put the fold of my pattern. Can you see what I'm doing? There we go. So I'm going to put the fold of my pattern right on the fold of the fabric. Line it up like that. Put my weights on there. Look at it. For the urban leggings, you want a fabric that has really good stretch, but you also want a fabric that has great recovery on that stretch, so that it'll kind of like come to you, especially for leggings. Cut one on fold, so we're done with that. I think we got all our pattern pieces. So we will stick this in here. Might need that back to placement of our pockets. Okay. And that's the waistband. And I have lots of this left. Okay. That's the waistband. Put the glue up. The wrong side of your fabric up. Okay. And with knits, you really don't want to pull a whole lot and get it all stretched out of whack, like pulling it trying to get it to lay flat. If you'll just kind of pat it, it will lay flat right by itself. So it says we need 1/4 inch on the top. Let me check that just real quick and make sure it says 1/4 inch. Take your pocket and cut a strip of Wonder Tape if you want, and put along the top edge of the wrong side of your pocket. I'm not going to use Wonder Tape. I'm going to use steam and clips. Press the pocket down over 1/4 inch. Alright, so I don't measure my hems. I can pretty much tell what 1/4 inch is. So that's what I'm going to do. If it'll do. Now with knits, you don't want to like press the iron back and forth. You really just want to pick up your iron and move it, not go back and forth. And then I'm going to clip this. Okay. And then it says sew across the top to finish the edge. So we'll do that on the cover stitch. So this 1/4 inch as well. I'm out of water. We have seen that. and clip. Alright. I need to re-steam this one. I don't believe I do. Okay. So I'm going to go cover stitch across the top and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's my pocket pieces. Don't look at my sewing. It's not straight, but nobody's going to look that close to your pocket. So then it says take it and fold 1/4 inch over on all sides. I'm going to do just a little bit bigger than 1/4 inch, just because it's a little bit easier. Okay. Do that one there. Let's go ahead and do this other side. And then we'll fold them up. Yep. So if you don't have a cover stitch machine, you can do a zigzag or any stretch stitch that you have on your machine. Really new to my cover stitch machine. I just got it about maybe a month and a half ago, so me and her hadn't become friends yet. Okay, there's them. One pocket. Steam. Okay, so there's my pockets. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a pocket placement on the pattern. It just gives you a better, it's really easier to place your pocket this way. I'm going to cut this out. Alright, I'm going to get one of my legs. I'm going to place it right side up. Okay. I'm going to put the pattern piece down on it, lining everything back up. Grab one of the pockets. And put it in the other one. Here we go. Put it in there. This one you have to pin it on. I'm going to put one just in the middle just so it don't shift and move. Okay, so now I'm going to take that to the cover stitch and sew the sides and the bottom. See if me and her can get along a little better. Also do the same thing to the other leg. I'm going to take it, lay it face up on the mat. Line everything up. And we're going to put it right here. I have short arms, so I like my pocket a little higher, but they give you a bigger box to take in your seam allowances, so you can put it where you want it in that inside that box. Go. If you don't have a cover stitch, like I said, you can take this to the sewing machine and you can do a zigzag stitch. Or you can do a lightning bolt stitch, a double needle, or a triple stitch, or something like that. So I'm going to put my pattern piece up and then head to the cover stitch. There's that way. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's gonna do. There's that one side. I tried to get the tail in, but it kind of flipped back in. That's okay. That's okay. Nobody's going to be looking that close to my leggings. I hope not anyway. Oh, I dropped it in the floor. Okay. I'm going to go across the bottom. Okay. Last couple of... I wonder if I can just turn. I don't know. Hold on. So I can just turn it. And you pull it out a little bit and then put it in. Okay. I'm going to go up this side. Okay. Okay, there. Not perfect. Like I said, me and her, we're just learning each other. And there's our pocket. I'm going to do the other leg. Maybe I'll do better on that one. Okay. I'm going to try the rotate thing that I did a while ago. That seemed to work out pretty good. Try to do right there. I'm gonna start right there. Okay. Oh, don't move. Okay, now move. Up, lift this up, pull it out just a little bit and rotate it. Okay. I need to pull it out just a little bit more, okay? Okay. Start right there. Oh, a little wiggle. Start right there. Woo! Pull these off. Oh, put my foot down, it might go somewhere. Might work a little better. Okay. Alright, all the way up, put out just a little bit, or a lot of it, and put it back. Start right there. Okay. I think that's going to be good. Okay. Sorry, I know I say that a lot, but I do it when I'm thinking. That one looks much better, much better. So we got a pocket here. Whew! All right. Only thing I've done so far on her is just hem. So that was top stitching was a learning experience for me. All right, guys. So now what I'm going to do is lay my pattern pieces together. Right sides together, and I'm going to sew these parts here. So I'm going to sew the crotch part on the front and the back. On that side and on this side. So line up the crotch parts. Just like that. And see, I'm just patting, I'm not pulling it. They should line up perfect. If they don't line up perfect, you didn't mirror your pattern. So I'm going to go sew this one, and I'm going to go sew this one. I'm going to use a serger, but you don't have to use a serger. You can use a zigzag stitch, or you can use lightning bolt stitch or something like that, some kind of stretch stitch. Alright, so this is what we just did. We just sewed this piece here and this piece here. So now what you're going to do is take your two leg pieces, and if you open them up and let them come together, there's your pants. How cool is that? So right here at your crotch part, you're going to match up your seam. You really want to get that straight. You don't want it to be like crooked in your crotch area. That probably would not be too comfortable. And then we're going to sew this big U right here. Making sure we're not stretching anything. We're just laying it on top. Do the inside of this leg. Stretching anything, we're just laying it on top, lining it up. This double brush poly kind of wants to stick to itself. I can word today, guys, I know. So now we're going to go back to the serger or to your sewing machine if you're going to do a zigzag stitch and do all this part here. While I'm already here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my waistband, I'm going to put it right sides together, and I'm going to sew the short raw edge. I'm going to sew across to here. Waistband. I'm going to take the waistband part. And I'm going to press it wrong sides together, matching up this seam. steam it. Let's do this up too. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to find our quarters. This one in the bobbin. So where our seams meet at, we're going to put a clip and we're going to go up to the other side, all the way to the other end, and that's going to be our front. Put a clip. Match up your two clips, your front and your back, and come out to the side. That's going to be 1/4. And then come out to this other side, and it's going to be your 2nd quarter. Okay, just like that. So now we're going to turn our leggings right side out. Go. If you'll notice, one part is significantly higher than the other. The biggest part, the highest part is your back. The lower part is your front. So we're going to attach this waistband to the outside of the leggings, matching up your seams in the back. Oh, but I didn't make the corner points on this one, my bad. So put your seams together, come out to one side, it'll be 1/4. Put your seams on this side. That'll be your 2nd quarter. Now you just match your quarters up. One, making sure it don't get twisted. 2, and just come on around. Your back seam, matching up them seams. That's 3, and we're sewing this to the outside of your leggings. And your 4th quarter. Okay. So now, as you can see, there's some extra here, so we're going to pull it. This is the only time we're stretching anything. We're going to pull it, line them up, all 3 layers. Let me put you up here so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it. I'm going to pull it so you line up all 3 of these pieces at the end, so kind of in the middle, all 3 layers, 2 of your waistband, 1 of your legs of your body, kind of in the middle, and clip it. And as you can still see, it's a little big, but when we go to the sewing machine, we're going to stretch it and sew it down. And that's going to bring your waistband in to be snug around you and hold it up. That's what we're going to do it again. We're going to do this for all 4 quarters. I'll lay it up here. Stretch it till it's straight. Clip it in the middle. And we're going to go around and do it again. Line up all 4 of them. This can be a little bit aggravating with fabrics that want to roll. Double brush poly is really good about not rolling. The only thing double brush poly is bad about is sticking to itself, like static electricity. And we got 1 more. Get that up there on that and pull it. You got 3 layers here you got to catch. Alright. kind of like to do multiple things at one time, so I'm going to go ahead and hem up the bottom of my legs, and while I'm going to the machines, I'm going to hem the bottom, and my leggings will be done. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Leggings. I didn't change my shirt. Got blue panties on, but there you go. That's what they look like, guys. This is the what did I say? The not the regular length, but the one right past that. And I'm 5'6", so I love them. They fit great. I like these better than the previous size that I did. When the pockets on the side. There's one. And another one. I love them. Works great. Alright guys, I will see you guys in the next one.